Picture this, it's late June of 2021 and Toonami decided to pick up Yashahime, possibly to build upon the well-established Inuyasha anime series which ran on Adult Swim in the early 2000s, and its concluding sequel to Final Act saved for Toonami, in the hopes that it secures some maintained ratings upon the shows that air before it and then after it. Now picture Food Wars airing its fourth season with the title moniker, The Fourth Plate, on Toonami, months later. Honestly, I could forgive Toonami for its subsequent choice of picking up anime that we know all too well in relation to one another, or, in Food Wars' case, picking up anime that made a name for itself in recent years, as if it's the new household anime title of its kind, if it weren't for this hollowed out feeling I get when I watch such anime and think to myself, where's the quality in this choice? What made this pickup seem like a no-brainer to air on Toonami besides the fact that's the only place and, again in Food Wars' case in deep comparison to Yashahime, the proper time it could air on United States television with its content and themes in mind? I'm glad I'm not the breadwinner of my household who pays for either digital cable or something like YouTube TV, because with Toonami as one of my lasting interests to stay subscribed to such options, I wouldn't hesitate to drop them knowing that Toonami stays feeding us specific programming and mostly anime that's either usually famed shonen or an established franchise. The former I understand to some degree. Toonami revolves around action. Shonen is action. It's the latter that while I understand as well, I can't seem to resonate or be patient with too much longer, seeing as it's a TV show pickup perk the block fixates on for ensured ratings performance. Except these programs don't seem to be performing too well or utilizing its contingency plan of maintaining viewership or lifting up the next show in line, so to speak, anymore. Sure, you could ignore the ratings disasters these Toonami sessions keep persisting to be nowadays like DeMarco advises, or you could take them in stride and use this information to your advantage by tuning out at some point in the future, instead of mindlessly supporting every show on the block like I used to with live tweeting on Twitter to keep Toonami more afloat. Isn't the point of watching TV usually for watching something that catches your interest? Taking a chance more than continuing to watch something you dislike, which, in the case of tuning out, provides a shot at feedback for the network heads, etc., who could later switch the programming out at the end of a season for something more desirable and fresh in quality? This is the apparent problem I had with Toonami before. I was so disillusioned to supporting the block itself and characters like Tom and Sarah in their Thai adventures, as if I had a debt to repay to them for missing out sometimes back in the day, that resulted in its time during Cartoon Network hours reaching an end. I felt like I failed them and had to keep on supporting the revived edition of the block so that the time it's on could last for quite a long stretch. I realize I'm just one individual fan out of a myriad of devoted fans who tune in to show their support of Toonami and the programming that follows, but for the longest time I thought even with my tallied rating, counted into the ratings that I see available for Reddit posts and other spaces, I thought I was making a huge difference for a while. I shouldn't have lent my viewership to the shows I disliked, such as Food Wars and Sword Art Online. But it turns out that any circumstance probably didn't make the slightest difference in hopes of retaining back-to-back quality shows on Toonami. The broadcast atmosphere of Toonami has changed, even if it's the same old Tom Helming is stationed to metaphorically beam to us anime and action from space. There are some parameters the block always seem to stick to now, and some of it is what I have mentioned at the start of this video, up-and-coming successes of various shonen and established franchises. There is a distinct lack of diversity anymore from other sides of the anime universe checking in on Toonami, possibly due to expected ratings rot or fear of it at least. Toonami seemed fine airing some divided anime choices like Michiko and Hachin some time ago. Now anime like that on the block noticeably appears less and less. Not that I want another series like that to air in precious Toonami time slots once again, but it's the difference in tone that I appreciated from that particular series. Potential risky acquisitions of that nature now sound like taboo. Feature details that are simply given a hard pass, or perhaps it was just 2021 that already followed off the footsteps of a spotty 2020 we had last year. Nevertheless, one of the only unique anime pickups this year on Toonami, which was SSSS Gridman in my opinion. Even that seemed like an obvious choice to air with Studio Trigger and its impact as strong prerequisites for the block. I'll retract some of my opinion on this matter for the episode premieres of Fena Pirate Princess beginning a couple months back. A huge contrast in tone and a good example of quality animation exhibited during Toonami. Not to mention good use of their Crunchyroll partnership, but at the same time it's an anime that has failed to catch my invested attention despite the gorgeous visuals. Of course, it would be pessimistic of me to think the same of their next premiere in line, Blade Runner Black Lotus. But in the same scope, it's another production that seems to fall under the same guise that DeMarco wishes to be his first huge hit, but won't be since it's lacking in other departments. The unique quality and unforgettable charm that define a standout masterwork for the likes of the block. I can only hope Toonami returns to form with a vast array of variety and peak moments throughout the night put on display, because as it stands this very moment, I wish I could say it hasn't, but Toonami has lately reaffirmed to me that the spark I saw in it, even this late in, has been put out.